I wasted years trying to lose fat by doing endless cardio, cutting out carbs, and basically just starving myself, but I still stayed fat. And looking back, it wasn't because I wasn't trying hard enough, it was because I was following the wrong advice. Eventually, I learned a few fat loss secrets which allowed me to lose 70 pounds of body fat and more importantly, keep it off. And in this video, I'm going to share those secrets with you so you don't waste years of your life like I did and you can finally see the results that you want. But before I reveal to you those secrets, I'm going to show you some myths that kept me fat for ages because they just might be keeping you fat too. The first myth, and one that I believed forever, was that cardio is the key to fat loss. I would spend an hour on the treadmill or Stairmaster and burn like 600 calories, and then I would go home absolutely starving and consume 1,500 calories because I thought I'd earned it. In my head, I justified it by saying, well, if I'm training that hard, surely I can just eat what I want. But back then I didn't realize that fat loss didn't just come from exercise, and it was mostly from your diet. So of course cardio helps, but the key is your diet. The second myth, and one that so many people believe, is that eating at night causes fat gain. I cannot tell you how many dinners I skipped, all because I thought somehow it's all going to turn into fat. Trust me, no matter what anyone tells you, it's not about when you eat, but about how much you eat. Where this one actually comes from is that most binges occur at night, so you're more likely to eat more calories in the evening. However, if you're in a deficit, you could eat at midnight, 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and you still won't gain fat. The next one is probably the one that did the most damage to me, and it's the idea that healthy food automatically equals fat loss. I was eating peanut butter, avocados, almonds, olive oil, all nutrient dense, yes, but also packed full of calories. I may have been eating clean, but I wasn't eating in a calorie deficit, and guess what? You can eat as clean as you want, but if you're eating too many calories, that belly isn't going anywhere. The next myth that I believed was the idea that you have to be miserable in order to lose fat. I thought being hungrier than I ever had been meant it was working, and that suffering was just part of that process. So I would literally starve myself, cut carbs out completely, skip meals, and that always led me to the eventual binge, and I would give up and put all of the weight I lost back on. I was locked in that restrict binge cycle for years, all because I convinced myself I had to suffer and be miserable in order to lose fat. The fifth and final myth was that if I wasn't seeing instant results, there was something wrong with me. I told myself, in fact, I convinced myself that I had bad genetics, a slow metabolism, and that I was just too lazy to lose fat. When in actual fact, I was just being misled by terrible advice, and when I changed that and started focusing on the basics and not worrying about having a special diet or a perfect training plan, that's when I started to see results, and that's when everything changed. I finally started focusing on what actually worked, and right now I'm going to share with you the fundamental secrets of fat loss that allowed me to lose 70 pounds of body fat. The first was that consistency beats perfection every single time. For years I thought I had to have the perfect diet, the perfect training plan, and never touch a bad food again in order to lose fat. The truth is though, and one that you need to learn if you want to lose fat, is that if you are consistent 80 to 90% of the time over the course of a few months, you will see better results than someone who was perfect for a month, then fell back into their old habits. Missing one workout won't get rid of all your progress, just how eating one cookie isn't going to erase all your hard work. You need to let go of the slip-ups and the mistakes and just make sure that you don't spiral after making one. Once I internalized that, it all changed for me because I could bounce back from my mistakes quickly, and more importantly, I didn't give up the second I wasn't perfect. The second secret is that it's okay to feel hungry, but it's also okay to feel full. For years, every single time I felt a slight bit hungry, I took that as a sign as it's time to eat. But when you do that, your body begins to send hunger signals more often than it should. And before you know it, every time you have a second to spare, you will feel hungry. Every time you could eat doesn't mean you should eat. It's okay and it's normal to feel a bit hungry every now and then. When you are in a calorie deficit, you are inevitably going to feel hungry. You are literally decreasing the amount of calories that your body is used to having, so of course you're going to feel hungry. It's equally important though to understand that just because you're not hungry 24/7 doesn't mean the process isn't working. As long as you're in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose fat. Learn to ride the waves of hunger and condition yourself to be okay with being hungry and being full. And once you do that, you will feel way more in control of your fat loss progress. The third secret is walk way more than you think you need to. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos before, you will know that I'm obsessed with walking, and I put my fat loss down a lot to the fact that I started walking a shit ton. Walking is truly the best fat loss hack out there. It burns calories, it reduces both physical and mental stress, and doesn't leave you feeling drained like many other forms of cardio can. Do 10k steps every single day as a minimum, and if you can, push that to 15 to 20k steps. Walk as much as you possibly can. Whenever you have a free moment, go for a walk. It's one of those small changes that over weeks and months lead to massive results. The next one is simple, but it's incredibly effective, and it's make your diet repeatable. When it comes to your diet, simplicity always wins. Find 5 to 7 meals that are high protein, low calorie, and that you actually enjoy eating. That way you're going to actually stick to eating them over and over again, and they won't become boring. Obviously mix it up now and then, and have some recipes on standby for when you're feeling something a bit different. But have those go-to meals because they will remove decision fatigue and help you stick to your routine. The fifth secret is that protein solves 90% of your problems. It gives you energy, keeps you full, and prevents you from losing muscle. By eating just 1 gram of protein per pound of your desired body weight per day, you're going to feel full all day long, retain your muscle and strength, and see better results. That's why having those repeatable meals come in handy so much. If they're all built around a good source of protein, then you're going to be getting enough protein every single day. And when you're hitting your protein target, it becomes easier to stick to your deficit, so it becomes a flywheel of success for fat loss. The final secret is one that most miss, and it's realizing that losing fat is a mindset. You have to stop thinking of yourself as someone who is fat and trying to lose fat, and you need to flip that and think of yourself as someone who has already lost the fat. When you tell yourself you aren't disciplined and you tell yourself that you always fall off, you are literally programming that into your identity. It will all change when you flip the script and start telling yourself you are the kind of person who finishes what they start, even if that's not true yet. Every time you push through an obstacle, you cook instead of ordering. You hit your workout even though you don't want to. You are literally stacking evidence that you are becoming that person. And from there, your beliefs shift, and your beliefs shape your behavior and your identity. If you want to change your body, you must first change what you believe about yourself. So now you know the secrets, let's put them into practice and talk about how you can use them to actually see results. Firstly, you need to remove all trigger foods from your house. Keep high protein and low calorie foods easy to access. When your environment supports your goals, it means you won't have to rely on willpower, and you are way more likely to stick to your plan. Secondly, create a repeatable routine. Get your go-to recipes down, schedule in your 10,000 steps every day no matter what, and choose 3 to 4 days a week where you're going to hit the gym. Following on from that, keep track of all of your progress. Use an app like MyFitnessPal, weigh yourself every day, and take progress pictures every single week. Also track how you feel, as well as your energy levels, hunger levels, and your general mood. Data like this is going to give you the real full picture of your progress. Also, give yourself rules, not restrictions. Instead of telling yourself you can never eat a piece of cake again, tell yourself that you can have 1 piece of cake on Saturday. Because of course life is about being healthy and being fit, but what's life without a piece of cake every now and then? And finally, change the way you speak about yourself. Instead of telling yourself and others you are trying to lose fat, tell yourself and others you are someone who takes care of their body, and speak that into existence every single day. From there, act accordingly. Because fat loss isn't just a physical change, it's a complete identity shift. You have to become the person who has the habits, mindset, discipline, and lifestyle of someone who isn't fat. So there you have it. Those are the fat loss secrets I wish someone had told me sooner, but lucky for you, you have me. Even if you just take 1 or 2 of these and do them consistently, I promise you're going to see results way faster than you think. As always, for coaching, hit the first link in the description. Other than that, if you found this video helpful, leave it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.